I get a yell for Art? I want to thank you guys so much for coming out tonight and being with us, supporting comics that are local. We are both from Cal, so please take care of them. As I said, my name is Carolyn Lovner. I like to give a quick disclaimer about myself. My comedy's a little different, a little dark. I do have CPTSD, which is complex PTSD. I was a disabled vet for the United States Navy. Thank you very much. Do I have any other military people in here? So, oh, what branch?
Army.
Oh, I run into so many of you guys out here in Wyoming. You guys just love that barren land that you want to crawl across all the time. No, I had a very good time in the military, believe it or not. I actually had to get a height waiver to join. Because you have to be 5'2" to be in the military. And I am 4'10" and 3/4 inches. And all the short people understand. Some of you laugh at the 3/4, but it is actually very important. Because at the DMV, it gives them the opportunity to round up or down. And thanks to that, all my driver's license have always said I'm 4'11". And it didn't make too much of a difference until here recently. See, growing up, you guys might not know this, you are pretty young. But growing up for us, Pluto was a planet. And also, being a midget was 4'8". And now, Pluto is a dwarf planet. And being 4'10" is the new height for a midget. So that 3/4 is all that's keeping me from dealing with more trauma. Because out of everything else I have to deal with, I'd have to deal with the fact that I'm about to marry a midget fucker. I did recently get engaged. He finally proposed. I guess he wanted to make sure he locked it down. Apparently, even at 51, I'm still kind of an item. Like the last comedy show I did, as I was walking off the stage, this guy proceeded to follow me around. And he did this thing when he caught me in the back where, you girls will know this, where they reach out for your hair, but get it in between their fingers, so when you go to jerk away, it slides through their fucking finger, and you're like, oh, God. It is, isn't it? The creepiest fucking thing in the world. I'm 51. He's calling me kiddo while doing this. Hello? I'm 51. I am not a kiddo anymore to anybody but my dad. This is why I have trauma. To add insult to injury, I went down to go up front to take photos of Art while he got done with his set, and the guy proceeds to follow me. So I tell him, please don't follow me, I'm working. He said, oh, I have to ask Art a very important question. And I'm like, okay, that's bullshit. He waits till I get completely done, and we take a long time trying to delay this shit. And then he looks up at Art and says, do you own a construction company? In Art's comedy, he does a bit about being a coconut, which means he's brown on the outside, but white on the inside. So manual labor is not something he does. And with the amount of kids he has, he'd own a housekeeping business too. I escape from him up in the back, and then he proceeds to smell my fucking hair. Calling me kiddo the whole time. So I go out front, look for the biggest men in the bar, because that's what you do. Is all of you women, if you don't know this, listen. When you have one of these guys, you look for some of the biggest men in the bar, and you go stand next to them and just say, protect me. And they do. And we waited there for 45 minutes for that motherfucker to leave so I could go home. But it's probably because some of my bits in the Navy, due to my height, I loved boot camp showers. I mean, I can't look up. That's waterboarding. I can't look down. That's reverse waterboarding with shampoo. For some of you trying to do the math, there was 86 girls. That is 172 titties. I may have went in boot camp straight, but I left a little curve. After the Navy, I became a mom, and then did den leaders and all that other fun stuff. I wanted to be involved in my child's life. Not like a helicopter parent or like a butt plug parent. Speaking of butt plugs, have you guys seen these ones that light up and glow in the dark? I think they would be amazing. Not sexually, necessarily. I mean, for night walking and night jogging, y'all the perverts. Everybody would know where you were. It'd be like a taillight. Everywhere you went, they'd be like, oh my God, there she is. Less chance of getting hit by another car. Does not have to be sexual. I am not here to yuck your yum though, so do with that information what you will. I'm all about educating, giving PSAs. I have a friend in Vegas who calls them Carolinisms, and her favorite one to share is one crime at a time. That's just common sense. I don't think that needs to be explained. If it does, call your parents. That's not my job. I did go through, like I said, I did the den leader thing for like 3 years. And then one of the moms found out that a long time ago, I used to be an exotic dancer. And then all of a sudden, I was immoral and shouldn't be near children. And all I could think is, I was a stripper, not a priest. That mom later got busted stealing from the pack. She actually ended up being a felon. She stole enough. And all I could think is if I would have left with money, at least I would have earned all mine. Honestly though, they're like tiger cubs. What am I gonna get, $5 for a lap dance? No, that's not enough. He was a lot of fun, my son. I learned a lot from him, and I thought I did my best to teach him everything I could. As a parent, that's your goal, to teach your children everything you wish you would have learned. But apparently I left out a couple of things. And when he got older, I found out when they move out, there was like no failure to launch with him. He was out the door at 18. Other parents were calling me like, how did you get him out? Mine's still in the basement drinking White Claw and playing on their PlayStation. And I was like, it's simple. I beat him when he was little. Not too much, not enough where he like flinches every time somebody moves fast. Just enough where he knows not to get lippy with his mom. He was taller than me. At 12 years old, he could tell me when I needed to color my hair. So that was an embarrassing moment. I got him back though. When he was an adult, I got this phone call one day. He lives in Durango, Colorado. I get a phone call in the middle of the day, him crying his ass off. And I was like, what's wrong? He said, Mom, I got arrested. I said, oh fuck, what did you do? I told you that one crime at a time fucking thing. What did you do? He said, I got a DUI. I was at work and we were tasting all the new drinks from the new drink menu. And I thought, since it was daytime and you only get DUIs at night, that I was safe to drive home. When I got done laughing, I was like, I so failed you. All laws are 24 hours a day. Let me just put this out now, my son. I don't think a judge is gonna listen to that argument, but good luck with that. And being in Colorado, they really nail you that first DUI. So he just sold his car and didn't get a new license. He was like, screw that, Mom, it's not worth it. I'm like, yeah, drive the bus drunk. You just ride the bus drunk. There is no crimes involved in that. That's just
Well, Mom, I swear, it was daylight, and I thought that you couldn't get a DUI during the daytime.
And then later, I realized this one's a little embarrassing. He got a cat when it was a baby kitten. And then about a year later, he had to move in with me with this cat named Princess Moon. The girl cat. I have never seen a cat with a female cat with a set of nuts. That male cat. And he was spraying everywhere. And I'm like, Alex, your cat's a boy. He's like, no, Mom, it's a girl. It's a girl, I swear. And I'm like, your cat's a boy. He picks it up and shows me the belly and goes, look, Mom, no dick. So I just spun the cat around, flipped up its tail, flicked its nuts and said, what's that? He said, extra fur, isn't that neat? I didn't know I had to teach him the sex of animals and how to... What else that I might have missed that I didn't realize was essential is where I'm at 51. He's gonna be 30 soon. He's about ready to propose to somebody, and all I can think is, what the fuck else did I miss? I left sex to his dad. Oh shit, I'm divorced. Might want to have a phone call with them. Having a PTSD, I do have a lot of intrusive thoughts. One that I had the other day, I'm sure a lot of you know or have heard that menopausal women watch a lot of weird shit, like crime documentaries and whatnot. It's not limited to that. We watch a lot of weird shit. Like I watched a documentary about sex bots. Have any of you guys heard of these Japanese sex bots? Oh my God, you're about to get an education. Because after I watched that documentary, I had to do a deep dive. 3 hours later on YouTube, I'm like, what does my algorithm look like? But I learned that these Japanese sex bots that are being designed are like real women, they say. They feel like us. You can pick their eye color, their hair color, their height, their skin tone. You can pick everything about them, including their personality. And I'm like, well, how realistic is it with just one? Do you have a choice of personalities you can pick? Because I know my boyfriend personally says I have at least 18 of them. It's the only part that upsets him is only 3 of them puts out, and he never knows when they're coming around. But then I started to think with some random thoughts. I think there's a missed market here. I think we could do something about domestic violence with these dogs. What if we could program them to say certain things like, I'm sorry, you're right, it was my fault. No, I shouldn't have looked at the waiter like that. I'm so sorry. I know you love me and that's why you hit me. And if you can make it so the skin actually like bruises, that would be even better. And if we wanted to take it even further, which my poor mind does, I was like, wait a minute, we might be able to solve the problem with serial killers. Because if we make it so they can maim them, but then they have to send them back in for repair, that's extra money right there. This is a marketing technique totally being missed out on. I think somebody needs to do this simply for us and our safety. I know I'm probably wrong thinking that, but I did also hear that some dolls are now being programmed where they can verbally resist advances, but they still can't physically resist them. So I think somebody's already on my thought process. Give it about 2 or 3 more years, this might save lives. I know, that's weird. It also got me on weird thoughts about service fees. I don't know how I really got to that, but then all of a sudden I got to like prostitution service fees. If they actually charge those, how expensive it would actually get. I mean, you have like the biohazard removal fee, the biohazard cleanup fee, the makeup removal and reapplication fee, that could be pricey. All of us women know that unless you get that Jeffree Star fuck-proof mascara, I promise you. See, here's those intrusive thoughts coming in and out. I am from the more you know generation, but I did raise my son in the Bill Nye generation. We watched Bill Nye all the time. So when Jeffree Star came out with his fuck-proof mascara, I was like, really? So I bought some. And then when it came in, I asked my boyfriend, now my fiance, I was like, hey, I need your help with something. I want to Bill Nye something. And he's like, well, what do I gotta do? And I'm like, nothing really. Just tell me afterwards how my mascara looks. And he was like, okay. So I went in the bathroom, did my face, did my makeup, came out, commenced, concluded. Cleaned up my face, wiped off the snot, the tears, and all that. And then looked up at him beaming and says, how is my mascara? He said, you look on point, baby. Everything else looked like shit, but my mascara still looked good. So that's product there that prostitutes can probably make an investment in to save money. Or if you provide them with it, maybe. And then I thought, wait a minute, discount fees. If you're gonna do service fees, you have to give discounts. What about, let's see, 15% for senior citizens? See? We could do one for the military. No, that would be a service fee. And depending on the branch would be how high the service fee is. And being former Navy, I'm willing to say the Navy is gonna have the highest service fee of them all. And then the service fees led me to the intrusive thought of the whole, my dad was stationed in the Philippines. That's where I was born and made. And then they had, my dad cheated on my mom a lot in the Philippines because apparently in the bars, it was $1.40 for a blowjob and a beer. And as a former military personnel, I can't say I wouldn't ponder that for a moment. I mean, you've just been out to sea for like 6 weeks, and then somebody, I mean, okay. But then I watched the documentary about ladyboys. Told you, we watch weird shit. And I realized there's lots of ladyboys in the Philippines. So one day my dad and I are driving down the road and I was like, hey Dad, I watched this documentary about ladyboys. And I was wondering, and before I got anything else out of my mouth, he goes, no, they were all women. I swear, I know they were all women. Okay. I know a little bit more about my dad than I did before now. And I'm okay with that. You guys, we have about a minute left and then Art should be coming up for y'all. Let me get some whoops from ya. Are y'all having fun tonight? I haven't offended anybody too much. I left out some of my more raunchier stuff for y'all. You want it? All right, acronyms. Military acronyms was one of my favorite things. CYA, cover your ass. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. FUBAR, fucked up beyond all recognition. Cunt, can't understand normal thinking. You said give it to me. A lot of women seem to have an issue with that joke, and I can understand why. But I mean, it's a non-binary term. Can't understand, no, I've met more male cunts in my life than females ever. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night. Give it up for Art. Right? This is my first time hosting.